Robin with Cantwaitsmellsgreat, and today we are making meatloafins, and this is one that I'm getting ready to taste. So stay tuned with me and find out how I did it, and then see at the end if it tastes any good. Cause my face, you can read me like a book. My daddy has requested for me to do this, and so I'm gonna try to make it good for him because he loves meatloaf. And I used to always make it when I was a kid, and he would just eat it up and loved it. So I'm going to try to do it today. To get this meatloaf started, first, a lot of people put raw onion and peppers into the meatloaf. But my family didn't like the raw because it stayed hard when you baked it and stuff. So what I do different with my meatloaf, I saute, it's probably medium to a large onion diced, and then I have half of a large pepper diced. And my pepper I already had done, I had froze it. So always remember, before you let your onions and peppers go bad, go ahead and chop them up and put them in a Ziploc bag, get the air out, and then seal them good, and then put them in the freezer. That way you can use them at a later date. So I've got my iron skillet. I've got me some bacon grease in here, got it heating up. And I'm just going to saute these up. My family, we had meatloaf probably every week, because I loved it. I love to make it. And when you make something that everybody else loves and they compliment you on it and say, ooh, that's good, you want to keep making it. So, like I said, I've made this all of my life. And I've done it different ways. One of my favorite ways, which I'm keto now so I can't do it, I would just take a can of manwich sauce and pour in it, and then add my breadcrumbs or whatever I had for the dry ingredients, and eggs and milk, salt and pepper, and then I'd make me a sugary ketchup to put on top. I take ketchup and brown sugar and mustard and heat it up on the stove real good until the brown sugar melts, and then I'd put that as my top, and when you bake it, it would crust up so good. Oh my good gracious. Not going there. We're keto now, so we can't do that. So I'm trying to, this is the first time I'm making it keto-fied, so I'm sure it's still going to be good when you make the meatloaf. It's always good. Let's see, I've got everything out at room temperature. It just blends better when it's at room temperature. I pre-measured all of my ingredients to make it easier to put it together. So I have about 2 pounds of ground beef, and you can use any kind of meat that you want. Sometimes in the past I've used turkey and beef together. I've used pork and beef together. I've even used all three. So it's whatever kind of meat that you like. Just make sure it's ground, and and then we add all the stuff to it. So I've got, like I said, it's about 2 pounds. I had them froze in separate Ziploc bags because it's just me, so I've been doing 1 pound at a time. So to this, I'm going to add some stuff. This is gourmet burger seasoning by Weber, and it sounded like it would be good. So I just have my little red soda cup. I just have a tablespoonful of that. I'm going to add it to my burger. And then I have another one. And I have soul food seasoning. And I did 2 tablespoonfuls of soul food seasoning. Okay, then of course, salt and pepper. And again, I always just salt and pepper to taste. And I'm going to salt my onions a little bit. Throw in my peppers. And you're bringing the sweetness out of these vegetables and making them a little tender, because like I said, my family didn't like they come out hard after they'd been in the oven and it wasn't any good. Okay, let's see. I got my salt. We're going to do pepper. Again, salt and pepper to your taste. I am going to do, I've got Worcestershire sauce. That's our family's favorite, Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire sauce in just about everything. It has 1 gram carbohydrate per teaspoon. So for this whole thing, I'm going to put a tablespoon. If I can get it open. Alright, so 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. I have spicy brown mustard because mustard brings out a really good flavor in it. And that's about a half tablespoon of it. Alright, these are good. I'm going to cut it off. Now, see, they're just starting to get translucent. Some of the peppers are still shiny. They're still, you know, they still got a little bit of bite to them. They're not mushy, you know, so that's the way you want it. So I'm going to take these up and let them cool off before I put it in with the meat. Because if you throw it in there like this, I'm getting ready to add eggs, it's going to make your eggs cook and be yucky. So I'm going to let them cool off. I've got my oven preheating. I'm going to do it at 375. I always kind of guess at that, you know, number. Alright, so I'm going to put in, I got 2 eggs. And I save my shells for when I do my bone broth, or I put them in the dog food because I do make my dog food sometimes. Alright, so I got 2 eggs. Let's see. I got all that. I got all that. I've got some tomato sauce. Okay, for tomato sauce, I'm going to put a half a cup. I'll save the rest and I'll make something with it this week. So half a cup of tomato sauce. Alright. Now, in mine, I would always put a half a cup of milk. So I'm using whipping cream. And I'm probably going to put a 1/4 of a cup. Just because it makes it really good and tasty. Alright. Then I have 3 heaping tablespoons of almond flour. In my little red solo cup. Alright, and then I have ground pork rinds. And I just bought them at the store. Pork rinds, regular puffed pork rinds. 3 1/4 ounce bag is what I used because that's all I had, and it's just a little bit over a cup and a half. So I'll put that in. Alrighty, and my onions and peppers have cooled off enough, so I'm going to put those in. And then we just get to mixing. I'll just get it started with the spoon and then I'll get my hands in there. You know, it's not meatloaf unless you use any hands. So the main thing about your meatloaf is you want all this stuff good and mixed. You don't want to have a big old pocket of just onions and peppers, you know, and you want to make sure your egg is all throughout it. Mix up and get that cream in there. Get all icky. Today has just been really just a yucky day. I didn't want to get out of the bed. I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want to do anything. So, I'm cooking. And when I cook, I feel better. So, and to be cooking for my daddy, because daddy requested this, makes it even better. You know? Alright, so you can tell, I don't know if you can see that. When you get it good, you know, you can see that the onions and peppers are throughout it. You know, that's one thing you look for. And I've got the right consistency because I can pick it all up. See? So it's not, I didn't put too much liquid and stuff, and it's holding together. That's the main thing. You want it to bind together. I'm so scatterbrained today, it's not even funny. I can't even think. So I'm going to spray so they don't stick, which, you know, your hamburger has, you know, grease in it or fat in it, so they shouldn't stick. We'll wait to spray that one. So basically I just kind of pat it together, make me a little ball like that, and just drop it in there. And you can, you know, you can make them small or you can have them heaped over, so however you want to do it. And of course you can cut this recipe down and make only, you know, with 1 pound, you know, cut your seasonings and stuff down. And also this is a good meal prep recipe, you know, by making them into little small things like this. Make ahead like on Sunday or something, make you a batch of this and cook it all up, and then you got little meatloafs all week. Like if you're running to, you know, work, or let's stick that pepper inside. Now, and also, so that made, there's 6 right there. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and spray this one up. I forgot what I was saying. But yeah, they're good to make ahead. And that way you've got it when you're on the run, wherever you're going. You know, meatloaf sandwiches used to be good, so meatloaf cold is good. Doesn't have to be hot. I used to love to get up the next day and make me a good old cold meatloaf sandwich. And mayonnaise, oh my gosh, that was something I always looked forward to when I made meatloaf, was that next day and making that meatloaf sandwich. But it's always cool to have your own little meatloaf, because I know we used to fight over the ends. That was always where the crunchy goodness was from whatever sugary topping you put on it. It would, you know, when you baked it, it would make a good old crusty edge, and we'd fight over those edges. Okay, I've got my pans full. Alright, so now I've got no sugar added Heinz, and this is 1 gram carbohydrate per tablespoon. So I'm just going to put a little squirt. I hate it when you open up ketchup and mustard and you got that liquid at the top. You forget to shake it. Sometimes even when you shake it, you still get a little bit. So I'm not even putting a 1/4 teaspoon on in. Just enough to give it a little flavor. And then when they eat it, if they want to put more on it, they can. They don't want to come out. And so I go back with little dabs and I just spread it out so it's all over. Meatloaf is really you know, in the South anyway, it's a big comfort food. When you're feeling bad, I'll take some to my friend who's recovering from surgery. Now see, they don't have a whole lot of ketchup on them. Now I'm going to stick them in the oven. I'm going to do them for 45 minutes and then check for doneness. You know, because they're smaller than a regular meatloaf. So I'm going to do them for 45 minutes and we'll see. Going off, it's time to get them out. Let's see what they look like. I'm excited. So I love me some meatloaf. Woo-wee! I'm all fogged up. And I did put a cookie sheet underneath because this one where I had them heaped over, you can see where they started to bubble over. Yum, yum, yum. Oh, I can't wait to dig in. Oh, wait a minute. While I'm here, I wanted to tell you guys something that I found out. Did you know almond flour, in the very, very fine print down here on the very bottom in the back, it says store in refrigerator or freezer for optimal freshness. So I didn't realize that. And, you know, it's such a small, fine print on the back of it. I bet most people don't realize that. But I read somewhere that if you keep it in the refrigerator, that you can keep it about 6 months. So I don't know what the shelf life time is if you leave it out. So I'm going to start putting it in the refrigerator. Alrighty. I got one out to taste. Look at that. It stayed together. It's, you know, still bonded. Bonded. It's still together good, I guess. And that's what you want from a good meatloaf. You want it to be like a loaf. You want it to stay together when you go to take a bite. This is delicious. Keto Meatloafins, great for meal prep like I fixed them. I did it on 375 for 45 minutes and they came out perfectly done. They're still moist. They've got a amazing flavor. This would be great for your meals to take to work, or if you're at home, pull out one and cook it and fix you a little vegetable side salad or something with it, and then you've got a meal. I'll put it in my little recipe thing that I found and figure out the serving portion and how much your macros are for that for you. And I'll post that in the description below. Be sure and follow me on my channel and hit the notification, click the little bell so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, Cantwaitsmellsgreat. And I have a new Facebook profile page. It's Cantwaitsmellsgreat Keto. And so follow me there. I also have a regular page, Cantwaitsmellsgreat. All one word for all of these. Cantwaitsmellsgreat. It's all squished together. But follow me. Send me messages and talk with me. You know, I love to talk back and forth. I love to get to know new people and who's following me and who's out there, you know. Let's get to know each other. All right, love y'all, and we'll see y'all soon.